listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show.
Yay, it's on. Hey guys, Bing is for doing, and we are here doing the Nashville series premiere for AFTERBUZZ TV. Woohoo!
Finally.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this day. All right, we'll get right to it. I'm JJ Jurgens. Welcomed here with
Whitney Lane.
And I'm Jenifer Golden.
All right, guys, so there was a lot of hype for this show. What did you think? Did it meet your expectations?
It really did. It kind of surpassed mine. I was like, I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm hearing how it's going to be like some soap opera kind of thing. And I was like, no, I liked it. I mean, you can see the soapy stuff, but I really did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it a lot, too. Actually, I liked it better the second time because, as I told you guys, I saw the pilot before we did the preview show. But watching it with you guys and, like, talking about it and pointing out the drama and, like, the things that I missed the first time around and the music, it was, like, just a really fun time.
Yeah.
With all the drama, it was still fun.
So much drama.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. Like, I was excited for it, but it really did, like exceeded my expectations. And I thought it was just fun and juicy, and I loved all the drama. I loved the nighttime soap opera.
For
you know,
sure.
it reminded me a lot of the way they did the new Dallas. Like, it had the same kind of rivalries and feel to it.
Yeah.
And I really, really liked it.
The cool thing about the
Definitely.
show, it's so different. Like, really to do, like, country and the stories behind it, you don't see that every day. You see, like, Grey's Anatomy, the medical stuff, and then there's, like, many other medical shows, and you see
Reality shows.
Exactly. And so many of every other kind of not genre, but storyline and content, that this is so cool that it's country.
It's new. It's so new. That's why it's been such a big hype around it. Like you said, it's very exciting because it's something that we get to explore. And I'm excited. I'll be tuning in every week. That's for sure. I'm really excited
Not
to see
just
how it
because you have
develops.
to be.
Right, because I want to be.
Yeah, I think it's nice, like, fresh. I think it's nice to see, like, shots of Nashville, a city that we don't see. You know, we always see shots of LA or, you know, the beaches, beach town stuff. So I think it's really refreshing to see it being scenes from Nashville. So let's talk about the reason why it's in Nashville and who the creator and the creator is.
I know.
So-
I love it. I do love the one thing. I mean, I love getting to see the landmarks and stuff from Nashville because it's really cool. It just reminds me of home, really, of the South, you know, and it's really cool to see that. But yeah, the creator of the entire show is an Oscar winner, Callie Corey, and she won an Oscar for Laverne and Shirley when she wrote that. And she said, you know, no one's done this before. I have this obsession with Nashville. It's really a cool city. We might as well explore it. And pretty smart idea, if you ask me.
Yeah, so she won the Oscar for Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I knew.
Two ladies.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Two
Yeah,
ladies.
I gotcha. Good. Yeah, and then she's also, you told me that her husband is also
T-Bone Burnett, huge producer for country music. Also an Oscar winner, we found out as well. That family's just the family to be in.
Yeah.
So apparently they were saying in news articles and stuff that now they'll get to finally spend time together because they're working on the same show, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
What else is cool is, like, the characters are just so different, and you see their priorities and what's important in Nashville versus you know what we're used to in LA or other cities, and everything surrounding music.
Yeah.
Every scene is about music or politics or money, and it's just so different and really cool to see, like, the lifestyle and what's going on there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really interesting to see really the dirt behind the music industry, and you have the nasty record producer or the record label guy, and it's a new story that it's fun to see, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason I think of country music and I'm like, oh, that must be just such a lovely industry. Everybody just sings and plays their guitar and kicks up their heels and has some whiskey, you know? But you don't really think of that. It's going to be like this dirty, gritty story, and that, you know, bad things happen there too.
Yeah. Well, and I think because most of the artists seem so much more down to earth than a lot of the other, like, you know, rock and rollers or rappers, or, you know, they just were in their jeans, lost, you know, and it just seems so like, oh yeah, good old boy, nice, good times. But you're right, we see a lot of the nastiness that is actually really out there.
And you see all the connections too. I mean, everybody in that industry, period, country music, you know each other. That's why it's like, who's my competition? Who's going to be on my side? You never know.
Yeah.
It's going to happen when somebody might leave you for another singer, or what's going to happen.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. And they in LA today, they had like a huge, like 3-page spread in the calendar section. And I think it's also, cool to see a show that's primarily about 2 rival women characters getting that much press and that much excitement. I think that's really exciting too.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Good drama, for sure. It's going to live up to its expectations, I think.
It is.
And it brought about some good tunes, by the way. Who would have thought that those songs were going to be so catchy?
Yeah, seriously, I will be going to iTunes and downloading those songs, which you can also go to iTunes and download the podcast for Nashville, our show here that you are going to love. We're going to do podcasts every week. Go to iTunes, rate and comment, tell a friend, and definitely tune in with us each week, because going to be good songs on iTunes and good podcasts. That's for sure.
While you're talking about the songs, we were all impressed with the fact that they all do their own singing.
I know. I was surprised. I mean, they had that little part in the show about the auto-tune stuff, but
I love that mention.
Yeah, that was
great. And somebody has to mention it, because there is such thing out there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lip syncing, auto-tuning. Well, we know that they actually can sing themselves, which is amazing to hear, because you don't expect it. You know, you see them as actors, both Hayden and Connie. You expect them just, you know, they're actors, but they can actually sing as well. They have good voices.
And the songs are great. You know, when you think about like that you're going to download a song from this show Nashville that you've never heard before, and it's not sung by a country singer that you know, it's just an actor singing a song. The songs were actually really good.
Yeah, I agree. We were both got the one that Hayden sings stuck in our head. We're like, oh, all day long, that it kind of sticks with you.
What are the lyrics, like namaste?
I don't know, but I just keep doing our little, like, you know,
like,
It's awesome. It's like when you know you have that one song that's always stuck in your head, you sing it over and over. Now there's some new country ones that get stuck in your head, and it'll change each week, which makes it very fun.
And I think I think they did a really good job of weaving the songs into the show. Like, it wasn't like herky-jerky, like, okay, now they're going to sing. Oh, and now, like, I thought it was just woven really well to keep the story moving, but not too much singing. I thought there was just the right balance of songs and storyline.
I agree completely. Like when they did Connie's song and she sort of flipped out because she doesn't want to deal with the going on tour with Hayden. Juliette. And then, you know, when Juliette was singing in the studio and they comment about the auto-tune, and, you know, then we see her singing again later and she's super, like, performance-y, but it's to give context to the story versus, like, pushing the songs. And it's not.
No, it totally fit. I didn't even question it. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, here they go with another song. It's like, it really just fit with the storyline, which was awesome.
Even in the bar at the end with the niece.
Yes,
Scarlett.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners and viewers, I'm terrible at names.
No, it's our first week. We'll get the names.
We'll get them down. They will be our best friends by next week, we promise. But yeah, even when they sing, that was such a natural progression, because it's a place where they sing and pull people out of the audience, and it was just like a natural thing. And then it became part of the storyline later with the call to
Rayna.
Back to Rayna.
Yeah.
Rayna.
The song.
I will remember her name.
You got it. All right, well, let's go ahead and start. Let's break down some of the characters.
I know, there's so many.
Yeah, so many. So we'll just try to touch on the ones that really, like, you know, got to us tonight. So let's start out with Rayna.
Yes.
For sure. She seems like the main character.
She's beautiful.
She's so great.
She is.
Connie Britton, she's great. She really is.
And, you know, in contrast to what I said last week about how the female women seem so just tense around each other and they seem like such angry characters, and we were hoping that it would evolve and have a little bit more warmth to it. Rayna's character has a lot of warmth, and you see that she's actually deep down like this warm, loving mom, singer, wife person, and she's just great.
Which you appreciate, because you always think about like people being divas, like they get what they want.
She even said she had a diva dip.
She did. She had that little moment, but that wasn't even that bad. She still was like, I'm sorry, you know. She was nice to everybody she came into contact with. Like those are the kind of stars that you want to root for, because they're the ones that you appreciate, and they're humble and happy to be where they are.
And she gets a free pass for having the little diva dip, because she's going through, you know, the hardest part of her career, getting like, you know, trying to be sidelined by this new young little whippersnapper, you know. So
she's definitely the underdog here.
Yeah.
She's the underdog.
She is.
And by the way, she was so sweet to Scarlett when she was like, let me know if you need anything. You don't see that every day in this industry.
She said,
people
your
don't want to help.
family, because Deacon and her.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Let's start with a little bit of the rivalry between her and Juliette.
Which, you know, might not have happened. It might not have been such a rivalry. I mean, at first, you know, she was reaching her hand out to shake her hand with Juliette, and who just ignored her and turned to talk to some manager who was sitting in the room. And, I mean, I guess Rayna at that point was kind of blindsided, because she thought, oh, I'm just meeting this new singer. Come to find out, they really want her to co-headline a
Which
tour.
means open, really.
Yeah.
Which is an insult to this singer who's been in the industry for years.
Yeah, and the first scene we see with those two, too, Juliette says, oh, yeah, you were one of my mom's favorites. You know, she told me she used to listen to you when I was in her belly. So she kind of slams her from the beginning instead of being, whereas when she met Deacon, she was like, oh, just in love with him, raving, couldn't sing his praises. So she clearly like had it, put her zingers in there right away on purpose.
Lots of digs for sure that I think we're going to see that a lot more, but she's finding ways to manipulate and try to get where she wants to be, hurt Rayna's career, which is just like, why not both be good?
Right.
And like,
you're not each other's competition. You have different audiences.
Yeah.
Wait, so now with our first two characters, like, dislike, what do we think?
I love Rayna, you know, but I love her. She can do no wrong in any show she's in. Friday Night Lights, American Horror Story. She's just fantastic.
I want to give her a hug.
Yeah. I would like to go have a drink with her and like talk.
she seems so relatable. I mean, it makes it easy to watch for sure.
Yeah. But beyond that, I do like her character as well. You know, I think I like watching her struggles and what she's working through. And yeah, I mean, Juliette is just, I hate her, but I love her for the show, because she's just one that I'm going to love to hate all season long, because I don't really see anything redeeming at all about her.
Do you see them trying to do that, though, with like the family drama and like that we have a soft spot for her, we feel bad for her? I just don't know, because I think that if you come from that kind of family, you want to be better than that, and you want to be nice to people, and you want to probably, I don't know what, but right the wrongs of your family. Not be a terrible person.
I felt bad that I actually didn't feel bad for her, though, in those like couple of times when she's crying. I was just like, I can't stand her. I cannot
a little
stand
guilty.
her.
Yeah. And I think it's also how she reacts to it afterwards. You know, it's like, the first time we see her crying and we see her breaking down and we find out about the mom, then she instantly just grabs Randy in and starts, kissing all over him and stuff.
Get rid of her, like, she can't deal with the emotion, so let's just, like,
use my sex appeal.
Yeah. That annoys me. It's, like, such a stereotype, though, that, and this is my one, like, gripe with the show, I will say, is that she's such a stereotype. She's like the Britney Spears of country. Not that I think Britney was like that, but I don't know what they say about her. You know, that you slip your way to the top or whatever it is, or you're really less innocent than you seem. And all we see is this girl going around with different guys, seducing everyone, flirting with everyone. You see her do it in the beginning with Avery, Scarlett's boyfriend, and says, like, because he bumps into her and she's like, well, you should do that more often, or slower next time.
Yeah.
In front of Scarlett.
Yeah.
Already turned me off.
Yeah.
Maybe she should, well, that's something. Maybe she just hates women because of her mom.
Yeah.
But that's bizarre.
Yeah.
Well, it could be why she can't form relationships with women, because she hasn't had one with a woman.
Plus,
with
Rayna is her mom's age, kind of,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that kind of does make sense.
Hey.
I like these two women, Rayna and Juliette.
Yeah.
Because we see that Rayna, she seems like the experienced woman who correctly worked her way up to the top. You know, she grinded and she built her career, and then we see Juliette just sleep her way to the top.
Yeah.
So I think these two women, they're great foils characters to each other and their age difference, and so there's a lot of good things about these two. I'm excited.
Their family dynamics are different.
Yep.
They are definitely both so interesting and so different and so dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah, and both, like you brought up in the career too, interesting how then she's getting treated by the label because she was pretty much the one that put the label on the map, you know? Like,
see, this is the thing though, because we say they're so different, but they're kind of similar because, I mean, she has issues with her mom, she has issues with her dad, and we don't know that she necessarily put the label on the map. Her dad apparently helped her put that label on the map, you know? If he paid for her first album, paid for her to like, so the things that she might not have thought about, and now... I don't know.
yeah.
So she paid her way to the top. Well, she did.
Well, she did.
Her family did.
Well, but at least she wasn't aware of
Right,
it, you know? So that's the little difference. Is she wasn't.
sure.
She never thought that. She thought this was all because of her working hard and her being true
And her voice.
And yeah,
And no auto-tune.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Actual talent.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's true. They are very different, but some similarities I think will come out more and more. Just
Which I think
because-
will actually be the reason they bond.
Yeah. Well, and she does make the point, like you brought up about auto-tune, is, you know, she said she couldn't even, this is somebody you want me to now open for who wouldn't even make it as my backup singer. And I think that's interesting with music in this day and age, because it is, some of it is so true. Like if you have a good package, if you're pretty or if you're a hot guy, like with auto-tune and all the marketing, a lot, that sells a lot. It's not so much... You know, I mean, I'm not saying everybody's like that,
Right.
but it's like the talent has gotten less important.
It's true.
You know?
Hey, auto-tune, you can turn us into a band.
Hey.
We will be a band too.
Yeah.
Can I just
I need a lot of
mention-
auto-tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it when Rayna first watched Juliette perform for the first time on the TV, and she was like, "Oh, shut up!" and she turned off the screen.
I know.
Agree.
I kind of love that.
I also loved when her daughters are singing it in the car, which, by the way, even the daughters can sing, and they're so
They harmonized.
Yeah.
They were harmonizing. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Musical
They're
geniuses.
YouTube sensations.
Obviously.
Viral video. That's how like people know about them. They actually do sing. So
Oh, they really are?
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
they
I
did
didn't
some
know
renditions
that.
of different songs and stuff. So
Oh, we'll have to look them up. Oh, nice. That was nice.
no, that's what I was gonna say about the daughters and just this is one thing though. Rayna is like older, and I know it's like this new girl coming in, but I wouldn't think that she'd be that offended. I think it's not that she's not offended because you don't want to headline or open for some young girl, but you know she should be so confident in like her career. It's just so hard. She turns the song off so her kids don't listen to it and pretend she has a headache.
Yeah, I think it's less about the other person being good and more about the fact that she's getting grouped with her and has to open for her. That it's essentially saying you're old news and this one is better than you. If it weren't in comparison and it wasn't a tour together and she wasn't opening for her, I don't think she'd have such a big deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's true. It's just the circumstances, but I do think it's kind of funny because she doesn't even want her kids to listen to it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
She's
happen.
just pissed off. Not happy.
She is. All right, let's talk about some of the guys now.
Yes, please.
But I know who you guys want to talk about first. Deacon.
The best. That is a man right there. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know where they found him. I'm sure there's an IMDb page where they found him, but he is just amazing and perfect for this role. The things he was saying to her, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's in her band, and he has been with her since the beginning of time.
We
and
don't even know, and like, I mean, there's a lot of history there that we don't even know yet, which will
I
be a
cannot
fun
wait.
part of this show for sure.
Oh, yeah. As it unfolds, I mean, that's why I'm tuning in, really, because I love a love story. And clearly there's a love story there, even though that's not her husband.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked when you said that in when we were watching, you're like, oh, if they go with this story, like I'll be watching every episode, you know, with
I
love
signed
story.
up. I'm there.
Yeah, for sure. I know he's an honest guy, though. Like, he says it how it is. It's like, you know, you're what makes me happy. I want to be there for you.
There's no games there.
it.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those things, because on that
Yeah.
bridge scene, he said some great things to her
Really
that
good
really kind of
things.
gave us an insight of their history.
I know when she was saying she wished she could do it all over.
Yeah.
And he was like, what would you change? She said, nothing but everything. And he's like, me too.
Yeah.
You never know what he would have done differently to probably make that relationship work. It seems like he cares so much. I mean, he's been loyal to her from wherever their relationship started, whenever
Yeah.
it happened.
Well, and she said too that, you know, that she didn't want to hold him back and she wanted him to be happy. And then he says the line that, oh, I would have been happy with one thing and I lost that years ago, you know? So it's like all those little lines were just so like, oh, go to him. Yeah. Every girl wants to hear. Yeah.
Good man.
And what about when he was like, why don't you ever sing any of my songs? Juliette wants to sing my songs. And she's like, well, I didn't feel right because I thought they were all about me. And he said, they are.
Yeah.
She totally should get up on it. She needs new songs. There you go, right there.
That's
Deacon's
real love.
an amazing songwriter.
And they're genuine songs. They're not like manufactured stupid songs.
Yeah. So what do we think? We were trying to talk about what we thought like happened with them, because he says she invites him to go have a drink, and he's like, no, you know, I got a meeting, or he said before he was going to a meeting, and that he didn't miss the headaches. So we think that they were an item, but maybe his drinking and his partying ways caused problems with their relationship, and that's why they didn't end up together.
I think so. You figured that out, and I was like, oh.
That's a good prediction for sure. Like.
And that makes sense, like that you're connecting dots here clearly. And he did say these things, and for whatever reason, I was staring into his eyes and not listening to what he had to say.
Well, I had to watch it like 3 times because I did that the first 2.
Right. When he said he was going to a meeting, I was like, with Juliette? What is this meeting?
Yeah.
Is he going to a different band?
I went there as well.
I thought that for the first time too, but then when he said I don't miss the headaches, I was like, oh wait, did he mean meeting?
And, you know, Rayna seems like a really strong woman. Like, if that was what happened, I'm sure she wouldn't put up with that crap.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you don't know, because if he's been working with her all along, who knows? He can't have a drinking problem, be in a band and supposed to be supporting her. So I don't know, but that would make sense. I mean, from the lines, it does seem to fit.
Well, a lot of songwriters need a lot of, you know, booze and heartache to come up with those great songs. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they even work together if there's so much there. They walk onto the bridge and it's all back.
Yeah.
They go back inside and it's like, oh, I'm married again. Like,
yeah, where I think the casting in this is just fantastic. Like the chemistry that they had, and it's amazing. It's just really real people, and you get lost in it.
They definitely, you see the chemistry, that's for sure, which is good. Because that's going to be the fun part of it.
Yeah.
It's weird, actually. I feel like everyone had chemistry, and then there was Hayden.
With everyone.
And I feel bad because it's not Hayden, it's Juliette. So I just felt like that was the one sore amongst everybody else.
I hated her Deacon.
Yeah.
That's awful. Well, first she's with Randy, and he comes to her door, and then she's like, don't come here without calling. It's
Randy,
like,
the music
hello?
producer, who she already made out with after she had that mom saga.
But it's like, what do you expect him to do? You've been sleeping with him, like here he comes showing up expecting it's going to be the same, and then she's inside with Deacon,
who is hunched over in some weird position. And not to ruin their weird romantic moment, but that was weird.
Her awkward mount of him.
Marissa, did you see that? He was like slouched down and she just like kind of like curled on top like a little puppy.
Yeah, I did.
like it. It was depressing to me. I feel like Deacon's a good, and I know he's like, you know, been lonely for a while, but not Juliette.
And I kind of thought it might take a bit for it to get to that.
I thought
like
he was smarter than that.
Yeah, I thought like he might, you know, this might happen a couple episodes along the way. Like I didn't expect him to cave so soon to her.
Well, we saw in the previews that maybe somebody might be drinking again, so.
Well, I just don't want him to cave to her in the sense that he's going to write music for her too. She's like, is that her whole plot? Like that might be her whole ploy. She's just trying to make sure he's signed to her exclusively, and then she's got
using
him, and then he's going to be hurt again, like he was with Rayna.
Well, and she's taking all of Rayna's people. So she took Randy already, who's her producer, Rayna's producer, and now she's taking Deacon and wants Deacon to be the lead of her band and go on tour with her.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going to happen.
She said that line in there too. She's like, "Oh, first Randy, now you." Like, and then she coming out of after my house next.
That was funny.
So yeah,
there are really smart lines in this.
Yeah, the writing's fantastic because there was
good writers.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about now her husband and their relationship. Yeah, Teddy.
What a boring name,
Teddy.
And he also has no accent. Where did he come from?
I think he's just a boring man.
I think maybe he has no Nashvilleian accent.
I'm not sure where his character was where they met.
I'm sure we'll find
sure,
out.
yeah.
But maybe in college or somewhere miscellaneous. I don't know. But we find out so much about him, like that he failed her, which is what he says, that their financial issues are a big thing, that when he said that he stood by her at by the stage, smiling and shaking hands.
He seems a little bitter, but
Yeah.
at the same time, they've kind of failed each other. I mean, he knows everything. It seems like he knows everything that happened between Rayna and Deacon.
He said
and he's been there the whole time.
and he said that he was the second choice.
Yeah,
that
that's
broke
the
my heart.
I agree.
I don't know if I could do that and live that marriage and with kids. And, just be there all the time as that guy who's not really accomplishing anything.
Well, again, they build another, like, a good dynamic because he also has given so much. I mean, it's not, I would assume, easy to be the person that's home taking care of the kids and he has the traditional female role in society. And, I think with the male ego, that's hard to deal with. And then he's kind of given up, a lot of things to be that person for her, and then to also know that you weren't her first choice and she had wanted to be with another man. Those are like, boom, two big
He doesn't
bombs.
seem to have much of a backbone, though. I mean, he can get persuaded to run for mayor like that. And, I mean, basically, he's going to be everything's going to be dictated as to what he's supposed to do.
He's a puppet.
in this position. Yeah.
He is. And I think part of that maybe it'd come from, like he said, you don't think I know what it's like to be on the sidelines cheering you on, when he was just asking for once now to have his turn to kind of be in the
so bad for
spotlight and
him.
have, so it's like he's reaching for, some fulfillment.
Which, she should do. I mean, it's a balance. Marriage, it's like you got to kind of compromise in this sense. If she's always been the one in spotlight, kind of is his turn if this is really something he's passionate about. But that's the thing, is like, she's like, really, my dad's talking you into this,
Right,
and I have to
yeah.
come support you doing this.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, and we could save this for predictions, or I'll just tell you right now, I think that the dad is going to rub off on him, and he is going to have a little bit of a dark side come out because of resentment, because of finally grasping power, because, I mean, I'm sure he's going to win, let's be honest, or he's got nothing left to do on the show.
It's true.
Yeah, I think you're right. He made the comment too about he didn't want Lamar.
Yeah.
That's just a weird name.
It is.
I want to call him Wyatt because that's his last name, right?
And because he is.
Yeah. So he when Teddy decides to run, he says, well, he doesn't want him to be mean or like ruin Coleman's life. Like he's trying to have values, but I have a feeling, like you said, that I have a feeling that
he's
that's
a
going to go,
pushover.
out the door pretty quickly, and that guy is going to be taken down. I know we just jumped to some predictions, but we to talk about that.
Can we talk about the dad next then, since we're
let's hit
on
the
this
dad.
roll?
Yeah.
Hi, you're evil.
I do not like him. Manipulative. Like, this is your daughter. You don't. Yeah. Your daughter's supposed to feel like, comfortable with
daughter.
you. You're going to protect her, not make her feel like she's worthless and her career is horrible. Like, she's a country music star, like she's doing what she loves to do. You should support that, not dictate her life and her husband's life and everything
put her
that's
down
happening.
and control her. And he's just so evil, from his eyes to his mouth and to his voice and his weird laugh.
Yeah, I agree. But again, great casting, because he just is like, he's so scary and so just like the epitome of evil.
But out of him and Hayden, not Hayden, Juliette. Sorry, Hayden. I don't mean you. Out of him and Juliette, I think
they're both.
I pick him. I pick him.
Really? Yeah. I don't like him either.
Like you think he's worse
you like
than
him
her?
better.
Or you
I
like
like
him
him
better?
better.
Really?
Only because I feel like he plays like a stereotypical, like, controlling, money-hungry guy versus just a little bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I don't know. I might-
little bit.
I might hate him more. I don't know.
I mean, they're
He's just so
one guy, one girl. We'll hate them both. Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
One from
Love to
each
hate them
sex.
all. Yeah. Because even the fact that he's just manipulating Teddy so much just so that he can put his baseball field there.
How
Was it
silly.
baseball? Football?
Yeah,
Baseball, right?
baseball.
Yeah, baseball field there.
And Teddy doesn't
and then
see
you
it,
know-
which is just another. It's just like, it's not that I don't like him, but I don't know how I feel about him. I don't think I really care, honestly. Like, his character's just one of those where it's like, are you going to do anything here? Because
I think it will evolve into a more prevalent character because he's now hanging with, like, the bad guy.
yeah,
And that's got to rub off on you, and it's gonna have an arc in his storyline, and it may even push Rayna toward our friend Deacon.
What we're all hoping for here.
Yes.
Which, by the
wanna
way, I'm sure Teddy is like, oh, my wife will be proud of me now. I'm a man in the house, and I'm doing a cool job and making money for the family, and she can quit her job. But that's only going to push her away.
She didn't even want to show up for him. She still wanted to sing for Coleman, the rival, the opponent. Like, I don't know what that says. But her dad is not one. She's not Daddy's little girl, that's for sure. He would not be one.
But the sister
was her
works for the dad. Yeah.
The sister.
Yeah.
Now that she's, you know, they have a good connection though. When, you know, it seems like she supports Rayna and stuff. She'll get her there to support her dad, but in the end, it's like she's got the manipulation coming from her dad as well, and she's sucked in.
Yeah, totally agree.
She's gonna take over the family biz.
Yeah. Yeah, another powerful woman. All right, well, we have a lot of other shows just like this one here on AfterBuzz TV this fall. We have like 50 new fall shows for the fall lineup. So whatever you're into, come to AfterBuzz and check them out. We have Dexter. We have, what are the other shows you guys are on?
I'm on Grey's Anatomy and Rizzoli and Isles.
And I'm on Pretty Little Liars and Heart of Dixie.
Woohoo.
So lots of good stuff to check out.
Yeah, so go to AfterBuzzTV.com, check them out, download them on, well, you already said on iTunes, and listen. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
While you're running, exercising, who knows?
Yeah.
And there is that podcast app that literally just, if you subscribe, it just shows up in your iPod.
It's
or
perfect.
Or your iPhone.
It's perfect.
It
I
is.
do that one. Yeah.
It's so convenient. They just appear. You're like, oh, look, another episode. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This will entertain me while I'm at work today.
Exactly.
Listen to my own voice. What? Who said that?
All right, let's talk about the rest of the younger characters now.
Yeah, because they're related to Deacon. Well, his niece, Scarlett, who's part of Rayna's family, so she says, like, you're a part of our family. She's coming in town working at the historic Bluebird Cafe.
I want to go there. It reminds me a lot of Piano Bar, which we were talking about. And it just seems like a really cool place.
I bet it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we said we
Open
needed.
mic.
Yeah, we need to do a little field trip.
We're going to immerse ourselves in country music.
I love it. I'll do it any day, any day.
But she's cute and she's sweet. And we were saying while we were watching, you know, how she seems like a contrast to Juliette because she's a sweet country singer and she's so naive and she writes her own songs and her voice is like a little bird.
But you root for her a little bit more than you would Juliette.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
But she's dating the guy that's kind of like, I don't know, Avery, right? That's his name, Avery.
Yeah.
He seems to be kind of like a ladies' man.
Like
Yeah,
Deacon.
because the fact that he turned to her and gave her attention right away in front of Scarlett.
Yeah.
Trouble.
And Deacon knows. He can already kind of tell. He asked the other one, Gunner, the other guy, he's like, look out for her. Like, make sure he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
But everyone's a little skeptical of him. Coming to town. He's new. He's a songwriter. He's trying to make it. He'll do what it takes, I think, to get where he needs to go, even if it means hurting Scarlett along the way.
Absolutely.
Avery?
Yeah.
Avery.
Gunner seems like a nice guy.
He'll come to her rescue.
Oh yeah, especially when he even like got her to not write her songs, but sing her songs because she has that poem book. And she's talking about heartbreak and the whole thing, and they are bonding, and then all of a sudden they're singing beautiful songs together.
Making sweet love.
I love it.
And which is funny to hear, but not funny, but like dramatic, that, you know, they say when you write songs together, that's where you sort of have that connection.
Like
and that's
Deacon
where
and
this
Rayna.
happens. Exactly.
Well, and interesting that Deacon was the one giving him the advice, though, when he's asking about him, saying, be careful, she has our family curse. She always falls for we fall for the people that'll break our hearts. So it's like, uh-oh.
So
Dun, dun, dun.
sad.
Yeah.
That is sad. But it's going to make for good TV. So good.
Exactly.
So I'm excited to see those characters develop a little bit more because I'm sure there'll be a good storyline because we saw the song that they were singing and Rayna's manager calls her right before she walks out to support her husband, that could be a potential song she'll be singing in the future. So
Possibly with Deacon.
That's what you ladies
Our
wanted to see, is those two. Yes.
there's too many. We can't just wait.
I know. Anything with Deacon really is fine. Except for when he is with Juliette. Oh,
No, that I just can't even. No.
it makes me mad, but I get it. It makes sense in terms of the story. And he like feels like he's sort of old news, and where does he fit in the whole thing? And is there going to be a tour? Isn't there? Which tour will he be on?
Yeah.
Can he finally rise to stardom with this band versus this one where he was always doing for Rayna? Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll see what happens with that.
And we see from the trailer that he gets pretty thick and
Hot and
Juliette
heavy.
yeah.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like it at all.
We'll
either.
see what happens with him.
Yeah.
Our favorite so far. We'll see if he stays our favorite, if he's going to be with Juliette. I don't know what's going to happen.
Then Gunnar might become your new favorite.
It might happen.
I don't know that Gunnar will be mine. I feel like he was just a prop. I don't know. He was a good singer. I mean, he was like a nice little parallel to like Rayna and Deacon.
Yeah.
And he's nicer than Avery, but I mean, I'm kind of more interested in the older characters.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think Deacon was definitely the winner
our
for me on that.
choice.
Yeah.
Marissa, who was your favorite?
I love Deacon too.
Oh, yeah.
The ladies love Deacon.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to get Deacon in for a little AfterBuzz show.
I know.
We could do a whole segment just on Deacon. I even love his lines and his face. It just showed that there's history there and depth behind his soul.
Yeah, I agree. He wasn't like a super pretty boy, so he had really good character to him. And
He's a
seemed like a
manly
real
guy.
man.
Looks like a Southern man.
He's a manly dude. Loved him.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are other characters. Randy. We talked about him. He was sort of just the producer guy who's being manipulated by Juliette.
He's like he knows though. He knows. I think. I don't even think he's really being manipulated. It may be in terms of like the relationship between them, but like he was like, "This is where the money's at. Who cares how she sings? We can auto tune that.
Yeah.
I'll sleep with her. Get what I want from this."
Yeah, I agree. He's just kind of the producer that is out to, make more money, and he kind of, doesn't really have that many loyalties, and will just do whatever he needs to do to get his songs, out there, and,
It's like an you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'm terrible at sayings, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, he was talking about those three when Rayna came and she was like, "What about those 3 songs? Can I record one of them?" Guaranteed. Guess who recorded those?
Oh yeah.
Thanks to Randy, who should have had a little bit more loyalty and held out for Rayna. But
Rayna's gonna learn her lesson though. If you don't scoop up songs quickly and you're a little bit,
you got to change a little bit. She does have to be open to change, and I think we'll see that happen because she's going to be forced to.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. She walked out. She said, "My answer's walking out the door," or whatever she said.
Yeah,
you can kiss my answer while I'm walking out the door. Good line.
That radio jockey even said, you need
She's not gonna be.
You need to step it up if you want to stick around.
Yeah.
Because Juliette's not going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, what do you think about that moment when she told the record exec?
That'll be interesting how that develops, I think, because, I think she needed to, honestly, because they kept saying, this is what's going to happen, you're going to lose all this funding for your tour, blah, blah, blah. But there are probably other options. This is just the negotiation, They're going to say what she doesn't want to hear. She's going to have to find a way to fight back, or she could have just given in. But I'm glad she stood up for herself, and I think we'll see. Obviously, the tour is going to have to happen because I feel like that's just the show. But I'm glad she did stand up for herself and said, I made this label. I'll walk right out the door.
It felt a little weird, though, when she was telling him, like, her accomplishments, like he didn't know.
Yeah.
And she was like, I made this label. Like, that's really great and all, but they also helped you get out there. So it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
And each part has their own element in this business. But it felt so weird to hear her be like, I was like, oh, it sounds like a pity party almost. Like, pick yourself up and be confident instead of, I don't know what, fishing. I don't know what that was, but it was weird.
Yeah. Well, I think was also very true to how things are in this day and age. Like he was he wasn't there
new.
when,
Right.
So I think that's kind of why she was telling all the stuff, because like trying to educate this young guy who I think she felt was just like walking in and like, pushing her to the side. And she's like, wait a second, I built this. But I forget the word he said, but he was saying like the old business model, basically doesn't work anymore. Yeah, which I think is very true. Like for us, for everybody now with YouTube and Justin Bieber being a star, getting a start from YouTube and all those things that those like older artists have to realize how to change their ways to adapt to the
industry. It's always shifting, but I do think since he just had walked in, that it was good for her to kind of stick it to him just a little bit, because You gotta remember the people that made this label how it is, and also you just gotta figure out a way to work together in this, and I think they will.
I'm so interested to see what's going to happen, though, because she said she's not going to go on that tour, and if she has her own tour, and we saw in the trailer that they're going to sort of cross paths again, but they have to obviously end up in the same place. They're not going to just keep crossing paths at like festivals and random happenings.
Yeah.
Or maybe she was showing up for the tour. Because that was the big Juliette's big bus, and then she pulls up in the car.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Or maybe she went to go see what one of her shows was like in person, or I don't know.
Maybe co-headlining will actually somehow be co-headlining. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know how you do that.
Maybe.
I know.
Do we have...
Was that news and
A
gossip?
little bit of news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So really, there's not much because it was really all about the big premiere. But I was reading different articles and stuff today, and I thought this was just funny because Connie Britton said that Nashville was more terrifying than American Horror Story. Because she had to sing herself. And she was like, it's more terrifying than the crazy things that would happen on American Horror Story and watching that. So I was just like, that's kind of interesting. Another fun thing, which we were talking about when we were watching it, I actually read an article from the Nashville scene about a drinking game when you watch the show Nashville, which I think is hilarious.
I'm glad we're all in line with the same thoughts.
Yeah, but it was so funny because they were like, you gotta drink when you see the Nashville skyline or like one of the big landmarks. Another one was like a shout out anytime they talk about a big country music legend. And then the other one, which was my favorite, was bitch face is what they called it, saying if you see Rayna making a mean face towards Juliette or vice versa, you have to drink.
You could be drunk off Juliette all night.
Oh my goodness, they're coming up with some funny things to make this a fun little show. Another thing which we had talked about before was how we thought, well, Juliette's character is based off of Taylor Swift. Well, apparently, parts of it are actually based off of Carrie Underwood.
Stop.
But everyone's like, no way, because Carrie Underwood, she's great, right? She's always a nice, sweet little Southern girl. But actually, the part that are based off of her is her stage presence and how she is on stage.
That
and how
looks
she, like,
familiar.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You can see the clothes kind of even and how she just has that confidence, kind of transforms into something different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The meanness, though, is not the same.
No. And what we heard about Carrie Underwood today is she had a quote saying that her one of her secrets to looking thin was she just makes her hair as big as she possibly can.
That's the South right there.
So we're all going to be doing big
Curling
hair
the
every
hair.
week on this show.
Every week it will get bigger, and you'll be like, what's going on with their faces? Why are they so little? It's our hair's getting bigger.
Just get ready. Get ready. Lots of hairspray. Yeah, but that's about it for news and gossip this week. I'm sure we'll have a lot more as the show continues.
Yeah. All right, so now it's time.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
They said it for us.
Ooh, there we go.
We have so many, and we've said a few already.
All right, well, go ahead. What are you guys' predictions?
Take it away.
Well, I don't even know if it's that much of a prediction, but I do think that Rayna and Deacon will get back together eventually.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to have some kind of thing. I think there's going to be a possessive thing about him because,
Yes.
Rayna will find out about him and Juliette, and then she will want to restake claim on him because even if she can't physically do something, she loves knowing that the security of him being there is what she's always relied on, and that love is still there even though they can't be together. Also, like you pointed out, which, by the way, you are like the queen of details.
Yeah.
Super sleuth.
You are super sleuth.
Awesome.
You are super sleuth. It's really amazing because I noticed none of that. When you said the thing about Maddie, the son, the dad's
Daughter.
Yeah.
Why is her name Maddie? Oh, Maddie, like
Maddie, I think.
like
Maddie.
Dee Dee.
yeah.
Right. Here, I thought it was like Matthew.
I gotcha.
Whoops.
Yeah.
So Maddie is possibly Deacon's daughter.
We think our little AfterBuzz prediction here is we think Maddie is Deacon's daughter because when she was arguing with the dad, he made the comment like, I can't believe you're not standing by him, and then well, what if he knew about, especially about the thing with Maddie? And we're like, wait, what? So that's our little prediction.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to come unraveling
throughout
there.
this. Yeah, because she got so mad.
She started screaming and just walked away.
Yeah.
And I think this Deacon and Rayna thing's going to put a strain on her marriage even more. So that'll probably push him closer to Lamar, the mean, manipulative daddy.
Exactly. And he's going to become the mean politician he might have inside him.
Yep, I think so too. All right, well, that was fun tonight, guys. We're looking forward to next week, so join us again next week. We'll have all your wrap-up of episode 2 of Nashville. So where can we find you guys?
I'm at Whitney Lane 1118 on Twitter.
And I'm at Jen the Jew.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.